Welcome to our channel. We're out looking for chicken of the woods. We're in a high part of the Ozarks, North Arkansas. Buffalo wilderness borders us on all sides. We're standing in an oak hardwood forest right now. Most of what we have is white oaks, black oaks, red oaks, hickory. This forest near the tops of our mountains, which our property has like a 350-foot elevation change in 2 or 3 different areas. On the tops where we are now, on these dome tops, this is where we see chicken of the woods. We did a burn about 2 months ago here. We just raked large fire lines and we started on the high end and burned downhill here into this holler. And the burn's about 3 acres large. Now, we never really seen mushrooms here. It was very rare. Every now and then you'd find a red chanterelle, like literally 8 in 3 years. After this burn, we have found spring elkhorns, which we have also never had here. And now we have chicken of the woods popping up in this burn scar, and I've never found a chicken of the woods in this part of our property. So I'm really impressed, and there is something to be said about the phosphorus, the potash that is deposited in the soil once you burn off a year's leaf layer. And then the pH comes up in that soil as well. And I did it for deer and for turkeys. We're getting paid back in odd ways. So underneath, you got a lot more color. I don't know what it is about the early season chicken of the woods, but they tend to lose their color a little bit. But underneath, you got this nice orangey peach color in the early season ones, and then the late season ones, you'll have these striped orange, bright orange mushrooms that you can see from a long way off. But this is a beautiful example of chicken of the woods. Probably my favorite mushroom. I've had morels, we've had oysters, chanterelles. Every mushroom's got its strong suit, but this one's just really adaptable because of that super stringy, meaty texture it's got. But it cooks up nice. You can make fritters, you can strip them like that, put them in soups, and then stir fries. And then of course you can take this, after you soak it, they're a lot more pliable, they break really easy, and you can fry them as a fritter. So we're ecstatic. This is like 12-pound mushroom. It's got multiple layers. On these sulfur shelves, you got to look at the layer count, right? So we've got like 3 layers here. I'm so happy. Like, look at the crown on this thing. Okay, now, it should be noted, we did not pick all this mushroom. There's more on the ground there, 2 other heads that are starting. We're going to leave that. That's for sporulation, and you should never take everything anyway. But, this literally looks like a gladiatorial shield. This is great. But, yeah, go out there and find y'all some mushrooms. So, yeah.
Now I know what you're thinking. What could you possibly do with that much mushroom? Well, we are processing them right now. And what we normally do is we'll soak them for about 30 minutes to an hour in cold water. Sometimes we'll put vinegar water. It's depending on how fresh they are. And what you are wanting to do is to drive out any worms or bugs from the mushroom. So typically this is what it will look like when there's a bug or a worm in the mushroom. As you can see, there's a hole right there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to break into that and we're going to cut it out. And you will see that there are sections in which the bugs or worms have been into. So it tears just like meat. And then you just cut out the parts in which the bugs have been into. And so now there are no bugs or worms in this. It's nice and clean. And the fresher the mushroom is, then the cleaner and the less processing there has to be. So you see this one, there's a little hole in that. So you just toss that section out. Now, when it comes to the center of the mushroom, right around here, it starts to get woody. You kind of just want to break that part off. It's really difficult to eat that. You just brush off any remainder, leaves, dirt, just debris. Here's a big part. We're just going to cut through this. This one's a really nice clean cut. As you can see, there are no holes. So there are no indications or signs of bugs or worms or maggots from flies. This was a very fresh mushroom. It was probably no more than 2 days old when we had picked it. And so I don't have a whole lot of processing to do at this point. And when we're finished, we'll be freezing these and saving them for another day.
So if any of you guys know any other ways of cooking or preserving this mushroom, we'd like to know about it. Throw that in the comments below. And do consider liking and subscribing if you like what you've seen. Thank you for supporting our channel.